I gotta put my legs up on this.
I'm crisscross applesauce.
Do you see the head? Do you see the? I'm crowning.
What do
I'm
you do?
crowning.
What do you? Oh my God! Are you having a child?
Do you see it?
Wait,
Do you
wait,
see
wait!
it? Is it coming?
It's
Ah!
it's a kid! It's a kid!
Oh, it's
Oh my gosh, that's a kid! You just had a
He's
kid live on
beautiful.
the episode.
Wait. How old is this
Wait,
kid?
that kid's like, let me check. 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Okay. You got to get out of here, bud. Okay.
Oh, that's right, because this episode is for 18-year-olds and older.
Oh man, that hurts.
That's crazy. If you
Yeah.
are a child over the age of 18 or you just had a baby, you're probably not going to want to listen to this one. If you just had a baby, you can. But if you're a child, you can't. Go
Get out of here.
away.
Chug. Yeah, baby. Ooh, eat the can too. Don't stop there. Just eat it. Yeah. That's good.
For the audio listeners, I just ate the can. Welcome to the Last Two Brain Cells podcast. My name is Austin, and this is
Donovan.
We are two POG champions, and today is February 21st, 2024. It is 2:22 a.m. out here in Texas. What time is it for you, Donovan?
It's 11:22. I just made my 11:11 wish 11 minutes ago.
Oh, beautiful. And you're in Istanbul, right?
That's correct.
That's a beautiful thing. Wow. This is the Last Two Brain Cells podcast, episode number 16. Holy shit. Here is a sneak peek at what's to come. You tell me you look at that glazed hole and you're not like, oh. Yeah,
so,
you don't want that.
There's just a permanent streak on this toilet that I've been trying to blast it with piss every single time, and it just won't go away.
I got a Wii controller in my hand and I'm shaking a soda.
I see.
I'm playing Yahtzee with the fellas, Yahtzee with the boys.
I could mutually masturbate with a clone of myself, I suppose.
Before we start this episode, we just wanted to give you a fair warning that this is a yapper.
This one's a little bit of a yapper, folks. We kind of just ramble on and on and on, and sometimes that's a good podcast, and sometimes we just call it segment light.
I was sick during this episode. I was also starving.
If you're looking for some more segments or, structure, definitely listen to the next episode. But, how bad could it be?
Let's find out.
What is the most private area that you would tattoo?
That's a great question. I can't think of much that's off limits besides like my butthole and my peenar.
Because that's the only things that I was thinking we should do it on.
I would tattoo my balls first.
Yeah, there's a lot of real estate there.
That would hurt, but it would be pretty cool.
The thing is, with when you get a tattoo, they have to stretch the skin out, and so with the ball skin in particular, it's so stretchy. Like when you stretch it out, it's gonna unfold like a massive map or a chart.
It's gonna be like Lewis and Clark unfolding their like deerskin map, and then be like, where are you? Yeah, you can find like the Declaration of Independence via a treasure map etched on my balls. That'd be so sick.
I think that was a deleted scene from that Nicolas Cage movie with the Declaration of Independence. What movie was that?
Nicolas Cage, National Treasure.
Yeah,
and Nicolas Cage is the national treasure, is what we found out at the end of the whole thing. There was no treasure; it was Nick. It was Nicolas Cage the whole time.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing.
Bruce Willis style. What's that? What was that Bruce Willis movie?
Dying Hard.
No. The one where it was Sixth Sense. Is that it? Or
the I See Dead People one?
Yeah, the one where
he's I think that's the Sixth Sense. I missed that one. I gotta go see it.
You never saw that?
No, because I was like spoiled. In the same way where like I didn't want to watch Titanic for a long time because I was like, I'm pretty sure I know how this one's gonna go.
Dude, that was an incredible movie too.
Yeah, they're both great. I gotta check them out. I mean, I watched the Titanic, but like, the whole time you're like, all right, here it comes, and and I feel like I almost pre-spoilered the Sixth Sense too hard, but I gotta watch it eventually.
But it's again like with movies like this, it doesn't matter if you know what's gonna happen. Like obviously the ship's gonna sink. It's about the journey, not the destination.
That's so true. It's about getting painted naked like a French girl. It's about the love. It's about the romance. Something to think about too. I was thinking about the Titanic. Isn't that the grandma? Isn't that Rose who's recanting the story?
Yeah,
throughout the Titanic. So. Is she's still reminiscing about like a previous boyfriend? Didn't she end up like getting married and like having kids and stuff and doing the whole like family thing? But she's still like, oh, the love of my life. She's really reminiscent about like she's not letting it go.
I mean, yeah, but that makes a lot of sense. I
It
think that
does. It does.
it's
It does.
okay to have a soulmate, and then if you lose a soulmate, it's like when you marry
It's
a
true. You're
widower.
right.
Like, you can be sloppy seconds, and that could still be good.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I just think about it. I'm like, man, this shit's crazy.
You ever? This is probably TMI. Do you ever like picture celebrities or other women that you've been with or whatever when you're with another woman?
This feels like a trap. This feels like a trap.
Yeah. Okay. Look, you
Never.
obviously don't. You never
No,
have.
not
Never
once.
have.
What's
I
that
totally
like?
do. It's
What's
it's
that like?
well, you can because you can use it both ways. You can either use it to prolong the experience by thinking about like I oftentimes thinking about like big greasy guys, and that like for
So when
some
you're trying
people,
not to bust, do you think about big greasy guys?
yeah,
So do you ever like sometimes surpass the bust and you have to, but you're like now thinking about big greasy guys?
I have done that.
And
It's
you're like,
the thing is,
fuck.
like that moment. Okay, when you die, your life flashes before your eyes.
Yeah.
Do you ever have? I don't know if this is maybe just a personal thing, but like when you're right about to jizz, do you ever have like it's a whole bunch of thoughts flash in your mind, and you're
Yeah.
like, and and you're like, I don't want to be thinking about my taxes or my family or. But then the thing that you try not to think about is what you end up jizzing to, and you're like, well, that's like ruined like half the experience.
I
It's not.
feel like usually during the climax, that's when all of a sudden my brain's like, you have to like clean the cat box and go to work. And I'm like, wait, no,
Yeah,
this is not the time I want to think about these things. I'm not
exactly.
in. Can I get back to like the greasy guys?
Yeah, exactly.
You
Well,
know?
or ideally not the greasy guys too.
No, it's
And
distracting me
if
from
that's
all
your
the
cup of
greasy
tea,
guys I
totally
was
cool.
trying to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, but
To the greasy
cheers, man.
guys.
But no, because I do think there is something to being in the correct mindset that like really gives you a better jizz. Like,
Wow.
and this is now a very quick medical advice segment in the intro of the podcast, but um,
Whoa.
because you know how
Kegel?
like particularly erotica and smut and all that kind of stuff like is mostly dominated by women be reading that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think that there is something like it totally benefits guys too, but we just like focus on it less. You know what I mean?
What, reading? Yeah, I would agree. I'm not reading a lot, so I
No,
would agree with that.
like imagining situations or like reading erotica and stuff. Have you ever read erotica?
Yeah, but not in a book.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I
No, I'm
think
not
the
gonna.
closest I ever got to erotica experiences was in 2012. You, me, and our boy Ryan went on a
Oh
road
my
trip around the
god.
United States, and we listened to the audiobook of 12 Shades of Grey. And we got pretty close to finishing it. We went through a couple of the sex scenes, and we just got bored. We just
I
got
just
bored. I feel like I think
yeah.
our imaginations collectively as boys, we could have made a sexier scene like playing Dungeons and Dragons in 3 minutes than the entirety of 50 Shades of Grey did, the
Yeah,
whole book.
totally agree. Like, I think that that was sloppy writing and just an uncreative environment. I remember there's that one sex scene in the bathtub, and it just did not sound hot at all. Like, did
Well, I'm
anything in
glad it
that book?
stuck with you. I'm really glad it stuck with you.
You don't remember that?
I just remember them having sex in an elevator.
I don't remember that.
It was yeah, it was fucked on so many levels. Shout out to
Did
Bo.
anything in that whole audiobook get you at all bricked up? Like, did you even get a semi chub from that?
I was more turned on when we stopped at the Krispy Kreme and got a free one. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that was hotter than anything in that book.
There is something a little bit pornographic about a glazed donut, though. You can't
It's
lie.
the hole.
It's the hole and the glaze, and
It's the
like,
hole with glaze. You tell me you look at that glazed hole and you're not like, "Oh,
yeah. I mean,
you don't lie. Don't lie. If you're in the audience right now, I'm gonna need you to raise your hand if you look at that donut and go, "Oh,
100%,
yeah." The
100%.
hot and
That's
ready sign is not just for the donuts; it's for me.
yeah. You know when you're in line at the donut store and you're just staring at like you're behind three people, they're taking forever. There's the old guy getting his coffee and his newspaper, and you're just staring at the array, thinking about what you're gonna get the whole time. You know that?
I think it's so funny because I do know that feeling, but I also feel like it brings me back to the days in high school. Donovan and I used to go to donut stores at 4 in the fucking morning and just stand outside the store waiting to be first customer. We found extreme joy in being the first customer. We would
Yeah.
line up outside the donut store like the new Xbox, the new PlayStation was about to drop at midnight. and we would surprise those donut goers. We were literally just there at the door the second they opened,
Yeah.
and those are some of my favorite memories. That's the best times I've been awake at 4 a.m.
I agree 1,000% on so many levels, and I've told people about this a lot since then, that it's like a ritual that's important to my past and something we did a lot. But I think because one, it means that you were up all night, probably doing some mischievous stuff, and that's fun.
That's true.
And then, yeah, just having a ritual like that. I think rituals are so important. And speaking of that, just real quick, we have a really spooky episode lined up. This is episode 16.
Yes.
This episode is old enough to drive in America. Yeah, dude, being the first customer at a donut store, the other cool thing about it is the donuts they hit so different.
They're crazy.
You've never had a donut until you've had a freshly baked donut, and you're sitting outside, your tummy is rumbling because when you stay up all night, you get so hungry for some reason.
You do.
And then the smell, it's like intoxicating, and you're probably already intoxicated. And then you get inside, it's all old people there reading their newspapers, playing the little card games and whatever they do. I don't know. What do old people do?
Gamble.
Candy Crush. Gamble.
Buy jewelry on the Home Shopping Network.
Yeah. And then it's you and some really, really pornographic fresh donuts. And it's just a great experience with the boys. And then you go right to sleep.
I go right away. I'm knocked out. It's like a good coom. Like having a donut is like a good coom. You go to bed right away.
It's like sometimes I think about like greasy guys, right? When I'm about to eat the donut so that it makes it last long, like the joy lasts longer.
No, I like to edge my donut too. I like to nibble around the edge forever and ever until eventually the circles run out. Yeah, we taught each other a lot of oral skills growing up.
That's true. You taught me how to, I don't know if we've talked about this on the pod, but you taught me how to spoon people.
That's actually amazing and adorable. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? You don't remember? We laid down one time, I think back in high school, and you were like, boys, let me show you my trick, or whatever it was. And you showed me basically how to get your arm so that, because before that, I only had
arm was dead arm.
It was dead arm. And because you would have your arm uncomfortably above your head all night. But the trick is there's that cavity between the neck, between the jaw and the shoulder. And like you could just tuck it right in there and it's way comfier.
I remember that now because I remember you were like, I just don't know if I like cuddling. My arm is falling asleep. My blood circulation's terrible. I'm like, no, here's the sneaky trick will change everything.
And it did. Like
that's I've cute and fun.
Taught hundreds of people that.
It's good. Everyone deserves a good cuddle. I think there's huge value in a cuddle.
100% agree, man. 100%.
Cuddles, up. Invest in cuddling.
Put all of your money into cuddling in Bitcoin.
Amen.
Sell everything else.
Sell hate. Sell anger. Buy. Cuddling and Bitcoin.
But mostly cuddling.
Mostly cuddling. Don't buy Bitcoin unless you want to.
Yeah, your life will be
cuddling.
I guarantee it. This has been financial advice by
somewhat people. Like that. Not allegedly, but allegedly.
Hey, you said a word during the intro that I wanted to highlight.
Which one? Come?
Yeah, no, it was poggers.
Poggers, yeah, pog champ, pog.
Yeah, so I know vaguely what that means because I'm kind of adjacent to the streaming and like Twitch community, but like. It means play of the game, right? Originally,
player of the game, yes, in a sense, yes. Okay. Play of the game, pog champion.
But like, whenever you say it, I only think the other acronym, fat ass white girl.
Pog. Oh, PAWG.
Right.
Classic. Yeah, the old pog mix up. And every time I say pog in real life, I get so embarrassed immediately. I cringe at myself because I'm just trying to say, oh, nice. But I realize I'm around like full grown adults and I'm like, oh, pog. And it just doesn't. I realize immediately that I need to go outside more.
Has anyone ever called you out? Like, have you had to explain yourself?
Yeah. Oh my God. The amount of times where I'm with like normal people and I'm like, oh, pog. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, oh, pog. Like awesome. And they're like, what? They're like, what? What's pog? I'm like, oh, like play the game?
Yeah.
And they're like, huh? And I'm like, all right, we can't do this right now.
Yeah. That's just
I have a hard time connecting with normal people, and it's because they don't have 7TV installed, they don't have BTTV installed, they don't know the emotes, they don't know the lingo. It's really tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah, I think
it's
honestly
a double-edged coin being a live streamer. You talk to people all fucking day, but when you go outside, who do you talk to then? My grandpa watched all our YouTube videos, and I didn't know.
Really?
That's true.
Really?
It's a true story.
Wait,
When
on the
my
Hardigan
dad's side of
side?
the family. So my
Oh,
dad's side of the family, they're very much not necessarily into the arts in the same way that I am. And by arts, I mean ball sacks and wieners. And when my grandpa passed, he actually had an iPad. This is a sweet sentimental moment. I didn't know he supported or watched anything I ever did, but when he passed, they opened up his Safari on his iPad, and he had unlimited tabs, a fuckload of tabs. And he had every video that I had ever made open in like different
wow.
tabs. And it means he must have watched all of them. He watched all the
Wow.
videos we made. He never mentioned it, never said a word, but he watched every video we made growing up.
That honestly
And
means a lot. That's crazy.
it was a crazy thing to hit. Like post death, I was like, damn, my grandpa, he cared. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy experience.
That's that old school classic guy kind of style of silent support of they're not going to say they love you and hug you, but back like behind the scenes, they're totally rooting for you and watching your
Number one
videos.
fan.
That's
It was
awesome.
tight. It was pretty tight. We got some comments if you want to respond to a comment or two.
Yeah, dude. Let's hear
How
it.
you feel about a comment reply? So these comments come from episode number 13, Sexiest Pokemon Contest, Dream Analysis, and Beer Factor. Our friend Gubera left a comment on the Patreon, patreon.com/bbgt. Our good friend here, Gubera, says, if you had told me at the launch of this podcast, you'd be discussing the downfalls of this capitalist society, I wouldn't have believed you.
Why not? We don't strike you as two dudes who are super intellectual and want to talk about economics and dystopian futures.
That was the same episode where we talked about having a butthole eating contest.
Yeah, point stands. I mean, I think that they're the smartest people are able to entertain the dumbest subjects. What do you think about that?
And I think sometimes the dumbest subjects can entertain the smartest people.
There we go. And so what do you say to that, Gubera?
Yeah, you can leave a comment on the Patreon. Let's see. One more
Yeah.
comment from the Patreon. Our friend Jimmy Shark, who was our advertiser of the week. He gave us $16 or something like that. Something crazy.
Dang, dude.
He funded our 3-year cruise ship venture, which is $77,000 a year right now. He said, whoa, 0.0207% of a cruise ship? I've always wanted that. Just like how I always wanted to play Pokemon with you.
And you still haven't played? Just checking in on that?
No.
Totally fine.
We played Pal World. Pal World is the new Pokemon. It's Pokemon with guns.
Right. Are you still playing that? Is it still good?
It dropped off crazy, but it's still good. Still good. Top 10 Steam games all time. Pal World, way up there. Now, I do want to reply. Jimmy, after this cruise ship comment, did reply to his own comment an hour later, thus commenting in real time. He said, quote unquote, I hate Beer Factor, sad face.
Jimmy, why?
No, Jimmy, I'm with you. I also hated Beer Factor. For those who don't know, we did an episode segment called Beer Factor where we spit into cups, and the loser of a contest had to drink their spit cup. And you know what? I also hated it. I think that's what's great about this podcast, though. We're an experimental podcast. Sometimes it's going to hit. Sometimes it's going to be hated. And the good news is I also hated it. So, like, if you're ever wondering, ooh, does this segment suck? I probably agree with you. But we're not going to stop trying. We're here to keep plowing the fields and planting our seed, and whatever blossoms, blossoms. It's not all going to be corn. It's not all going to be pumpkins. It might be like, something shitty.
A shitty vegetable. It could be like eggplant.
Eggplant. I had eggplant parmesan this week, and I loved it.
It is delicious.
I didn't know. You know I hate vegetables.
Yeah. Congrats,
That shit slapped.
Really good.
And I think the eggplant emoji being in reference to a cock kind of got me more interested. It's good branding.
Yeah. No, shout out to the eggplant marketing team. They really got into the Gen Z millennial minds with the eggplant. And honestly, peaches too. I bet they're selling
I like peaches now
than ever before.
I like peaches now. I like eggplants. It's really a good world.
Yeah. I mean, no lie. I have an eggplant in my fridge right now. I'm going to cook eggplant today.
Fire. And I would eat it now because I was affected by the marketing. Eggplant community is on fire 2024.
I mean, you probably wouldn't eat because I'm gonna make eggplant, broccoli, lentil soup. So you're probably not into that.
You're telling me it's not a cheese version of?
No,
Oh,
sorry. I'm actually
okay.
I'm sick right now, so I don't know if you could tell with the congestion and the maybe the mic quality or your voice, but yeah, have a slight cold. So sorry about that.
You've always been sick, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
No worries, man. No worries. Well, hey, those were our sick comments from the Patreon. Currently, patreon.com/bbgt. Hopefully, in the future, we're making a Patreon for Last Two Brain Cells for some bonus content. We're trying to make this thing a full-time thing, so thank you for your support. 5-star ratings on every platform go far. Not the mid plug, but also this podcast is a little more than mid, so plug.
Yeah, yeah. And you were talking about, man, sometimes we're going to blossom and sometimes we're going to suck. I think the important thing is we're always going to go hard. So we're going to blossom hard or we're going to suck hard. And sorry, Jimmy, if we suck hard and you didn't want to get sucked hard, then this is not the right podcast for you.
Jimmy's down. Jimmy's cool.
No, of course.
Jimmy's not a narc. He's cool.
I think you're going to get used to getting sucked hard by us, and I think you're going to end up liking it over time.
Consensually, of course.
Yeah, no, Jimmy, and write in, please. If you don't want to get sucked hard, that's totally fine too.
Yeah, if you guys could leave a comment on the Patreon if you don't want to get sucked hard, that'd be really helpful. But also, no pressure. You don't even have to do that.
Yeah, but if you do want to get sucked hard, let us know. And
yeah. Could you leave a comment on Spotify right now? There is a comment section. Can you, quote unquote, say, I want to get sucked hard? That way I know you listened. We have a comment section on the Patreon, and I read every single comment. And real quick, speaking of, we actually got a Spotify comment from another podcast that I have actually been able to listen to as well. There is a podcast out in the world known as Wine Time with a Gay and a Gal. And I would like to say, big shout out to you. It's been awesome interacting with you on Twitter and listening to your podcast as well. But you left a comment on episode 9, the release party with Matt Mort, Sunny Brew, and Podcast Rike. And you said, this was a great episode. I found myself literally laughing out loud. We'll be following and listening for more episodes. You all have great chemistry. Freaking nice. Shout out to Wine Time with a Gay and a Gal. We appreciate you. Listeners, go support them as well. Give them a good review. Super nice.
And we would love to have a little podcast swinger party if we want to feature on yours or you want to come over and hang out at Last Two Brain Cells.
Party time. I was thinking about it. We got to open up our collabs. If anyone is hearing this and you have a podcast, let us know. We are down to pull up to yours. You can pull up to ours. Your place or mine, you know? The classic.
Yeah. Just
sounds fun.
Late night. Hit us with the podcast you up.
Yes.
And we have some other exciting news too, which I've been brewing on this for the last couple of weeks, man. But it's finally ready. We finally have an episode to debut. Our new intro song, man.
I'm so excited. I've only heard a snippet, and the only thing I heard in the snippet was balls.
Yep. That is a professional singer from Belgium that we recorded with, and she goes, big balls, and it's hauntingly beautiful.
That's what the sample I got was, and I loved it.
Actually, be honest with me here, because this is going to be a work in progress. If you don't like this, or if we want to re-record something or whatever, let's hear the true, honest reaction.
Yeah, so we can add some bass. We could really chop and screw it. We can do a lot of things here. First time listen, Last Two Brain Cells new podcast intro in 3, 2, 1.
Is it playing for you?
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Donovan. Ooh.
We are here together.
Pee-pee.
They're gonna talk about true crime. Last two brain cells, last two brain cells, last two brain cells, last two brain cells.
Wow! Are you shitting my ass? That's crazy.
Isn't that incredible?
No way. And for reference, that was our tattoo friend on the guitar, right?
Yeah, so shout out, credit where credit's due. That's Ronnie from Belgium, and she's about to drop an EP soon, so when that comes out, we can shout it out too. But
of course. Do you know what they go by on Spotify?
I think it's just Ronnie Music, or maybe just Ronnie. Yeah, on guitar, and the male voice is Sargin there, and that's my tattoo artist / just artist extraordinaire out here in Istanbul.
And friend.
Yeah, and shout out
podcast.
And shout out to Tattoo Sargin on Instagram if you're trying to get some ink over in Istanbul.
And speaking of sucking hard, I'm looking at our show notes right here, and I see the word Super Bowl.
Bro, oh, yes. So, well, we can actually get into the app now that we're 30 minutes deep. That holy guacamole, this Super Bowl was a snoozer, bro.
Can I tell you the truth?
Huh?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No, I was
I thought
baking
you had a
cakes.
whole
No,
party.
I still got drunk, but I was baking cake.
Okay.
Yeah. The only reason I didn't watch it is because the Buffalo Bills weren't in it, the Birds weren't in it, the Bengals weren't in it, the Browns weren't in it. Who gives a shit about? It's a rerun. It's a fucking rerun.
Do you say Bengals?
The Bengals?
Hell yeah, brother.
The Cincinnati Bengals?
Yeah, brother.
What? The Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals. Go Bengals. Come on, Bengals. I love the Bengals.
The Bengals.
Huh?
The Bengals.
Oh. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't like that team. I like the Bengals.
Yeah, I love the Bengals.
Let's go, Bengals.
Whoa.
I don't know. Something about the Bengals gets me excited. I was ready to sports bet on this game, but I have no money. I have nothing. I'm just drinking water these days.
Yeah.
And two, I couldn't care less. The only thing I cared about was, will Taylor Swift win the Super Bowl? And she did.
She did.
Taylor Swift won the Super Bowl, and that's all that mattered to me.
That really was the most exciting part, too, for football fans, at least for me personally. I really wanted the 49ers to win, but that game was just an offensive snooze fest. And
yeah.
I don't know. Like, shout out to Brock Purdy. You did great. And obviously, Mahomes is Mahomes. But overall, the gameplay was boring, super boring. And the advertisements were not great.
I think that I'm saving all of my sports betting money from this year and putting it towards next year. Because I think next year's Super Bowl is going to be a good one. If the Birds are in it, if the Bills are in it, if the Bengals or the Browns, that's all I care about.
Why do you want the Browns in there?
You like the Browns. Who do you like now?
No. Browns are absolutely out.
You're done with the Browns?
Browns are last year's news because the Browns.
That was your team. I only root for the teams my friends like.
I appreciate that, actually. Okay, so I get it now. But what happened is there was this whole controversy with the Browns, and you do not want to support them now because do you know at all a guy named Deshaun Watson?
No.
All right, he's not a good guy. He's a really
bad
not
boy.
good guy.
Boo!
And he has
Be good.
30 sexual assault allegations.
Oh, skip that. That's terrible.
And then the Browns. But the issue is he's really good at ball. He can play ball, and so the Browns signed him at quarterback for like $200 million. So it was like a record deal.
Smelly.
Right, but it's basically the organization said we don't really care about ethics and morals. We just want a guy who can sling the rock, and so we want Deshaun Watson. And it was just such a bad look by the whole organization. And then to top it off, Deshaun Watson came in and he performed like trash for the season, which was with a little bit of justice, but he needs a lot more justice coming his way for sure.
That's crazy. NFL drama.
Yeah. So I don't.
That's why I try to keep it with the Birds and the Bills and the Bengals, not the Browns.
Bengals.
I try to keep it chill with my B teams: Birds, Bengals, Bills. The 3 B's of football.
Baking a cake was definitely the right call instead of watching this game.
I got way too drunk. It was bad.
Yeah. Did you have one of those nights where you had to sniff your toilet bowl to throw up, or what?
I had one of those nights where I don't know if I remember sniffing the toilet bowl.
Damn, you forgot about sniffing the bowl.
All I know is I woke up in a French maid costume.
The Super Bowl for you was just a toilet bowl.
I woke up and next to my bed on the floor was a French maid costume, a Sonic the Hedgehog onesie, and some short shorts. And I don't know what happened.
And that was all worn by you.
Allegedly.
Moving on. We got some stories to tell. We got story time.
Ooh, story time.
It's a story time.
So this time you're actually at an Airbnb, but you're by yourself. You're not with a stranger living with you?
Yeah, well, so I wasn't technically living with a stranger at the last place.
Okay.
It started off that way, and then she let me, quote unquote, upgrade to this other spot that was a little bit of like a dungeon, but I'm super stoked to have been there. But it wasn't like a luxe crib by any means. But yeah, she did have a spot available for rent on Airbnb that was literally just a room next to her room in her apartment. And there was this basically there's this whole controversy at the end of my stay where Airbnb messaged me and they said check out immediately, and I was like, "What do you mean check out immediately? It's like 10 p.m. right now. I'm not just
What
gonna
the
leave."
hell?
And then I also asked why, and they were like, "We cannot disclose that according to our privacy policy, but you have to check out. We can help you find a new location." And I basically was like, "No." And then
He said no.
yeah, and then we had this, but they kept hitting me up like day after day. They're like, check out today. And I just ignored them. So my Airbnb host, this super nice chick, shout out to you, Doigu, and she had this room, like I said, that she was renting out next to hers. And she had this guest there that was this guy from the Netherlands, right? And he shows up, he seems super normal, they have a beer, whatever, and then she goes to sleep, and then he decides to throw a sex party, like a huge orgy at her house in the
Did you get
room.
invited?
I didn't even get the invite. It was
Oh, that's some fucking bullshit.
yeah, sick and twisted, bro. And
Sick and
not
twisted.
Doigu, the host, woke up, went next door, and knocked on the door. I was like, "Hey, what's going on in here?" And there's
Uh-oh.
like sex toys on the floor. There's all
Uh-oh.
kinds of debauchery. There's like a tray full of drugs just on the coffee table. And she was like, "Okay, this is violating like every single whatever agreement on BB. You guys got to go." And the guy from the Netherlands, he was just like, "No." And
No.
so they got into this argument, and then the cops got involved, and then the Netherlands guy,
Wow.
he ends up like spinning this whole different story of what happened, right? Because at that point, it's like word against word, and so
Word.
he ended up reporting Doigu to Airbnb and saying, "Hey, like this host did all this sketchy stuff and kicked me out," and but he was truly like a bad dude. Like he had some psychopathic tendencies, and so like a couple of days later, she showed me a couple of texts from the guy, and he basically sent her like, "Hey, I have your spare keys. Be careful." Ha 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 ha. And like
That's demonic.
no, yeah, he sent like really disturbing and like threatening stuff to her, and so I was like trying to help her out, and be like, "Hey, I talked to Airbnb on her behalf and was like kind of worried for her safety. She seemed okay, and I don't think anything happened,
That's
luckily.
so
But
wild.
be careful who you let into your home because you never know, especially if they're from the Netherlands,
And
because they some freaky.
we say that as people that are currently renting your car out to strangers.
Yeah, I know, and well, we had a little discussion about that too this
Yeah.
morning. Which do you want
Long
to talk?
story short, I think someone might be selling drugs at your car, Donovan. We're renting Donovan's car on Turo, and we got the car back. Dude jumps out the car. He has nothing but significant, wild stacks of $1 bills and bags of quarters.
Yeah,
And I don't know. I mean, hey, do your thing. Do your thing, 21. That's sick with me. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Do your thing. But
yeah,
I was impressed to see. He goes, hold on 1 second. Goes back in the car, grabs a bag of cash, $1 bills. What do you do in this world in 2024 that gives you a bag of cash with hundreds of $1 bills in it, besides stripping?
yeah. I don't think that, as you described this guy, I don't think he was a stripper. I mean,
I
it's
don't think he was stripping. But also, hey, I'm just assuming. I could be the asshole. You know what they say about assuming makes you an asshole.
it does make you an asshole, but sometimes
Yeah.
assholes are right. And in this case, man, if he's selling drugs out of the car, like I guess I don't really care as long as I'm not like legally implicated in that.
You're
You know,
not.
it's Turo's fault,
No,
or
you're
I don't
not.
know, is it Turo's fault? But
Yes.
really, what I'm worried about is like I don't want my car to turn into a bang bus because it's already a squirt car. It already
Well, I
smells like
mean,
squirt.
I gotta say, our friend hand washed the car before he brought it back,
Yeah, well
which
that
is
and
a
that
good. It's very polite, but are they?
no,
Is it in reference to hiding bang bus experiences?
yeah, that's a huge red flag. That's
The passenger seat was leaned all the way back.
yeah, okay. That see that that's
Or
not
is
looking good.
this? I don't see the problem.
At the end of the day, we got the money in the bag, but also maybe some fluids in the car, and that's par for the course.
And that's my job. I'll clean that up. That's my side of the Turo. It's your car. I'll clean the cum.
You just got to clean the cum.
I get the cum out. You provide the car.
That's a deal, brother.
Deal.
You had a story as well, speaking about cars, but your story was about big boy cars.
Ooh, big boy cars. Oh, man. Friends, listeners, we went to a monster truck rally this weekend, and I had a great freaking time. It has been on my monster truck rally goals list to go to a monster truck rally. By that, I mean it's a bucket list goal. I've been trying to do that for a long, long, long dang time. And growing up, I was always told, it's too loud. It's lame. It smells bad. Yada, yada, yada. And let me tell you, I went to a monster truck rally, and I had a great time. I had a wonderful time. My only complaint, I did not see any backflips. I did not see any front flips. Nothing caught on fire. Nobody hit the side, but that's also because we were in a indoor small venue with low ceilings. So that's,
But like they're not smushing other cars. They're not colliding with each other.
No one got smushed. No one got destroyed, but I did see the T-Rex and the shark attack go pretty crazy. I also saw the Outlaw and the Sheriff. You may know them from Monster Jam.
Yeah, they sound very familiar. But if
they're
not
world
doing
famous.
their backflips and stuff, then what are they? They're not monster trucking. What are they doing?
Well, I think they could have, but the ceiling was really low, so it was a tough experience. I loved the event. I had a great freaking time, but I think with a higher ceiling, or maybe not being inside, they could have done more. Also, by the end of the event, I was lightheaded. There was no ventilation, and I was so fucking lightheaded.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that okay?
horrible. No,
No?
no.
Why? What?
How many people were at this event?
Oh, it was packed. It was packed. And let me tell you, me and my group were the only homies with colorful hair. We walked in looking way too California for Texas, if you know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah,
let me just say, we were a little too California for Texas. The guy in front of me's shirt said, "I love one woman and a couple of guns." And I
I
went,
mean,
whoo, we
and you didn't
are
buy it off his back right there.
we are living in a society. And let me tell you, I'm pretty sure we prayed twice during the event. It was pretty fire.
Like the whole crowd prayed.
Oh, you had to stand up and take your hats off. Yeah.
Incredible.
No disrespect. But they prayed for the monster trucks to not malfunction, and they had to stop the show halfway through because 2 monster trucks malfunctioned.
So what does that mean? Like, can we break
I
that
think
down?
it's not that God wasn't listening. He doesn't care about your monster truck rally.
Right, right. I think God's not impressed by that.
No,
It's the low ceiling. It all comes down to the
God
low
got the
ceiling.
message. God
Yeah,
got the message. He heard us loud and clear. All
yeah.
1,000 people in the indoor arena huffing carbon monoxide. He got the message. He just said, "I don't care about your monster truck rally," and that's
Mhm.
okay. There's other things to attend to, like war and famine. But
Yeah,
he was
but
like not taking care of our monster truck rally. I don't know.
that's a little disrespectful on his part. Did you take your hat off when you prayed?
I was wearing 3 hats, and I did. I was wearing this, and then I got a T-Rex hat from the T-Rex car, and the driver signed it because I got to go to the pit party where if you're in the VIP section, you get to go into the pit before the show and
You
get.
met the driver?
I met the driver of the shark attack and the driver of the T-Rex,
What were
and he
what were
signed
they
my
like?
T-Rex hat.
What is a
They were
monster truck driver like?
awkward middle school boys in their 40s.
Okay, that's exactly what you'd imagine, yeah.
They had no people skills, but damn, could they make that shit do some jumps.
Wow.
They were
Okay.
cool. They were nice.
So, do you think if you prayed 3 times, the cars wouldn't have broken down?
We also played, and I'm proud to be an
Being an
American. Well, at
American.
least I know I'm free. It was like a full Texas experience. It
Was
was
this in
good.
Austin or where?
It was in like near Oklahoma, Texas. So
Yeah,
more
I see.
Oklahoma.
I see. Yeah,
But
that's
also Texas.
tracks.
Again, I would like to say I had a great time. I had a wonderful time. I do think my lungs are permanently damaged. Yeah, that's true.
All the heavy metals that you vape, bro. Like,
I'm addicted to microplastics.
yeah, man, they're delicious.
That's the
But
thing. If they weren't so yummy, I wouldn't eat them all the time.
yeah,
Do you think microplastics are yummy on purpose?
they exist in La Croix. Did you know that?
L.A. Crowy?
Yeah, La Croix. La
L.A.
Croix.
L.A. Crowy.
Yeah,
Los
they're,
Angeles Croix?
exactly. They're in everything.
That's fricked up, bro. That's fricked.
You know, they try to do a study. They try to study the negative like health impacts of microplastics in humans, and they were unable to validate any of their results or basically conduct the study altogether because they couldn't find a control group.
People without microplastics?
Literally, yeah, they were
That's
unable to locate
fucked.
anybody that didn't have microplastics.
Well, if they're looking for like an extremity, it's me. I'm over here drinking my Waterloo sparkling seltzer grape right now. Let me get some microplastic.
Yummy, yummy monster truck fumes.
But enough about monster trucks, man. We got so many other things to talk about, including maybe some monster fucks.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forget the monster mash. I'm here for the monster smash.
Ooh. Okay. Pee-pee break.
Pee-pee break.
The boys are taking a pee-pee break. We'll be right back.
How was your pee-pee?
Oh, I went crazy. I pissed like the Bellagio.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had a decent one. There was this toilet at this Airbnb. This is gonna be, if you have sensitive ears or stomach, whatever, close them now. But
you're gonna say that now, but not during Beer Factor where we drank our own spit.
Yeah, well, look, there's a new episode, new disclaimer.
True.
So this the toilet at this Airbnb has like just some weird angles. I don't know if I agree with how they designed the part where like basically you have to sit super far forward in order to drop turds directly down into the water. And if you don't, but if you do, then your wiener is just pressed against the front of the toilet bowl, which is gross. But if you back it up, then you drop turds down the slide, and then it just creates streaks.
Yeah, so you don't want that.
There's just a permanent streak on this toilet that I've been trying to blast it with piss every single time, and it just won't go away.
That's rough, man. The classic. I always felt like as a penis owner, it was my responsibility to blast turd stains off of toilets.
It is. I mean, and that's part of the burden that men carry. But unfortunately, this streak is too strong for my stream.
I might have to step in. I've never talked about this out loud, but I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can like I said, I pissed like the Bellagio. I can get fired to the fire department. You know what I mean?
I would love to get a specialist out here because really this thing is stubborn. So speaking about spooky, scary things like toilet streaks, we have, I think, our first segment of the entire episode coming up.
What's it called?
This is going to be the
hottest monster tier list. We have a list of monsters, and we're going to put them into one of 4 categories. 1, hottie. 2, garbage. 3, friend zone. And ethically, I need to remind you, the friend zone's not real, grow up. And last but not least, the monster love of your life. And we get one. We get one love of your life. So it's either hot, or not, and the love of my life. Now let's go through these monsters. Yeah, let's get it. So we got a good list of monsters here. You want to get us started?
Yeah. So first up, we have Angel.
Okay, now Angel, I have some questions. Is this the angel with wings looking like a human, or is this the biblically accurate angel, where it's eyeballs with crazy wings? You know, like the biblically accurate angel is pretty terrifying.
But also, is it like the angel of death, or is it like Gabriel?
The angel of death likes it when you put red X's of blood on your door so he won't kill your firstborn son, for a reminder.
Yeah, but that's cool. We have
canonically, the angel of death is going to kill your firstborn if you don't paint your door in blood. Just a reminder. I'm gonna put him in the friend zone.
We're gonna pass on that. Not a
hottie. Friend zone.
Not a hottie. Not garbage.
Bigfoot, hottie.
Hottie, absolute hottie.
Bigfoot, hottie. I think the thing about Bigfoot is in that footage, you know, we have that classic photo where Bigfoot's looking at us.
Yep.
That sometimes I like to think that's what Bigfoot would look like if he was looking back at it.
Bigfoot for me is like all of my male fantasies combined into one creature. Like hairy,
it's more than sweaty man.
Super hard to find in the forest. Bigfoot has a swinger, no doubt.
And it's like Drake's dick. You see Drake's dick this week?
Is Drake Bigfoot?
No, he got an elephant trunk down there, brother.
No, I saw him wangling that thing, and he's. I'm honestly skeptical.
Impressed.
I think it's weird that a Drake dick pic didn't come out until AI got big. That's a sus video because Drake's not from the 6 in that video. Drake's from the 8 to 10-inch range.
That's true. That's fucking real, brother. He's swanging. He's
Yeah.
in the bed just swanging. My boy C Sprizzle said it best. In that video, though, he looks like he's about to get his diaper changed. He's waiting to get his diaper changed. He's
or like
looking for a wipey and a diaper.
Next up is Cat Girl Cat Boy.
Cat Girl? Monster love of my life. Done.
That's the love of your life.
I'm a cat girl guy. Meow.
You're not even going to consider Snurson, which is a snake person?
Fuck him.
Okay, Cat Girl's going in.
Cat Girl is the monster love. You're telling me I can get a girlfriend. I can get a kitty cat combined?
Yeah.
What's next? A pepperoni pizza?
But what if it's more cat than girl?
You tell me she got a catussy?
What if she... We have clone of ourselves.
Of ourselves?
It's a clone of ourselves. So I'm gonna put that in the. Is it friend zone or hottie, bro?
I'm in friend zone or hottie mode. I'm gonna go with hottie. I'll fuck myself, sure.
Yeah.
Listen. If you ever let's be honest. Everyone masturbates. You're fucking yourself already. What if you could fuck yourself, but it's your buddy?
But which version of you gets fucked, and which version of you does the fucking though? Like.
You don't have to go whole to Rod. You can just go, just like you can just do your thing. Like two boys playing Wii games where like you need to shake up a soda. Like you're playing WarioWare and you need to shake up. I got a Wii controller in my hand and I'm shaking a soda.
I see.
I'm playing Yahtzee with the fellas. Yahtzee with the boys.
I could mutually masturbate with a clone of myself, I suppose.
You could also like
demons. Oh, that
garbage.
Might be the love of my life. That might be
really.
At least hottie. Demon for me that's hottie.
But you're gonna get cursed.
It's so worth
hottie. You're right. It's worth it.
Dragon.
Dragon? Are we talking about like Game of Thrones dragon? Or are we talking about the dragon from Shrek? Because the dragon from Shrek kind of a hottie. The dragon from Game of Thrones, like Shrek
garbage.
dragon? What about ghosts? Ghost is hottie.
Really?
Because when you can't see, you can only imagine how hot they really could be.
But it's sort of like the paranormal glory hole where like you don't know what's on the other side there. It could be.
It's like imagining having sex with anyone you want while you're having sex. I have to ask permission.
What?
Quick, just really fast. Quick Disneyland story.
Quick. Make it quick.
There is a lagoon in Disneyland where they had a submarine ride. They still do. It's Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage. Previously, it was a just normal submarine ride. At one point, they actually had physical real-life actors sitting in the pool dressed as mermaids. And those mermaids would sit on rocks all day and just wave at guests and all that shit while the actual submarine ride would go around them. These mermaids had to stop being in the park because men kept jumping into the lake and trying to swim out to them.
That is terrifying.
Additionally, the water was excessively contaminated, and most, if not all, of the mermaid ladies got like bleach skin burns.
Oh my
Everybody got fucked up. Plus, they were swimming by mechanical component like rides. What the fuck was that idea? Having real life mermaids in a electricity-based pond filled with chemicals, and men just kept jumping in, swimming to them. They got rid of them, but a crazy era in Disneyland history where women were paid to be fake mermaids, and they got skin damage.
Yeah, wow.
And they had to get taken away, not because of the skin damage, but because fellas couldn't keep it together.
Dude, fellas are not cool sometimes.
Fellas, you're ruining it, fellas.
Yeah, just don't jump out of the boat.
Fellas. I also think that a mermaid would friend zone us before we could friend zone them. So if we friend zone them before they friend zone us, W?
Yeah, that's actually...
Friend zone them. Friend zone them.
All right, Mothman.
Fuck him over. Mothman? I would fuck Mothman.
Dude, you can't fuck.
You're telling me you're not hanging out? You're not hanging out on the railroad tracks by that bridge, waiting for him?
No, Mothman is actually really scary to me. Like Mothman is kind of like too gross in a not hot way.
I've watched a lot of Mothman hunting videos, and I gotta be honest, I've never seen him. So maybe aesthetically he's gross, but conceptually, my brain is aroused.
But like, you know how gross moths are? I had a moth infestation in Denver like a year ago, and it sucked. Like
But you
uh,
eat bugs.
yeah, and as a bug eater, actually picturing eating a moth is revolting. Like, okay,
That's true. That's true.
picture this. You're laying in bed, you're naked, right? In front of you, at the front of the bed, is big mothy fucking like weird flowery powder wings flapping. He's
Ugh.
staring at you with his big eyes. You're getting bricked up from that.
You're right. Mothman, friend zone. I'm terrified of mummies. I had an experience when I was in 3rd grade going to Universal Studios, not Disneyland, Universal Studios, and I went through the Hollywood Monster Maze, and I shit my pants terrified. I was
Mm.
terrified. There was a Revenge of the Mummy hallway, specifically in that haunted house maze, and I was a child, and it scared the shit out of me. And to this day, I am scared of 2 things: mummies and Nosferatu, because he was also there.
So your girl calls you up and says, "Hey, like we can do anything you want tonight, but I'm gonna be dressed as a mummy." You say no.
I'm out. I'm gonna say, yeah, the only thing we doing is going to bed.
Got it. Got it. Okay, yeah,
No
mummy's garbage.
way.
Robot.
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 I've been thinking about this a lot. You know the Daft Punk song, Robot Rock?
Yeah, the one
Are
that
we
goes
sure?
robot rock.
Are we
Robot
sure
rock.
they're saying Robot Rock, or are they saying Robot Cock?
I'll have to re-listen.
I've been re-listening, and it sounds like Robot Cock to me.
Hmm.
Cock. Robot cock. Do cock. I like it.
If it's a robot that looks like Daft Punk, hottie. If it's a
Yeah.
robot that looks like Wally, then love my life, right?
Oh, I'm more of an Eve guy. I think Eve was pretty hot.
Which one is Eve? Let me
Eve
Google
is girl Wally.
Oh, girl. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I mean,
Eve is like Eve
Unga
is
bunga.
like babe goals.
Okay, so what we thinking hottie for robot?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got a friend zone skeleton. We have no other option.
We get friend zone skeleton.
Sorry. Slime.
Slime? Oh, I'd fuck slime. I eat slime for breakfast. You know I love slime. I like slime.
True. See, I think you loved of your life too early. Slime could have been the love of your life, and you pass because you're already taken by Catgirl.
I just am someone who doesn't usually like believe in only having one dessert, and I consider a slimy cat girl an option. That could have been good. Can I combine them?
Really, really good question.
Cat girl. The fuck is a snursin? Is that a Harry Potter class?
It's a snake person.
Okay, that's hot.
Snake person snursin. Can you imagine?
Slippery.
Have you ever been gripped by a snake?
I've been gripped, but not by a snake. You're putting snursin in the love of your life category.
Love my life. Yep.
That's nuts.
Next up, we have succubus.
Succubus, hottie. I will take the bait.
But that's again, it's like mermaid, where it's like everyone wants a succubus.
Friend zone. Yeah, you're right. Friend zone them.
Because they're gonna suck the ever living soul out. You're gonna get sucked hard, but that's gonna be the last suck of your life too.
Remember, all caps. I want to get sucked hard.
Right. But I want to keep getting sucked hard. I don't want to just get sucked hard one time and then die.
Right now we have vampire. Next is werewolf. Are you team Edward or team Jacob?
Oh, can I choose neither? Do I have to choose?
Yes. One? You can choose. You can choose Bella's dad. Bella's dad is a good guy.
Bella's dad? Is he just a human?
I'm team Bella's dad. I'd fuck Bella's dad.
And he's just a normal guy?
Yeah, he's like a totally normal guy lost in the sauce of like, what the fuck's going on out here? And I think he's the hottest.
I choose Jacob over Bella's dad.
Jacob imprinted on a baby.
He what?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. So yeah, vampire's garbage.
Last one, zombie.
Friend zone.
Yeah?
Because I don't want that shit as an enemy.
But also could be hottie.
They could give you crazy brains.
Right. Because hear me out, like zombies are really just trying to eat some meat the whole time. Like that whole goal. They're just trying to eat you up, right?
They're going to take a chunk out your cock.
Or depends on the kind of zombie though. What if it's like it's a sloppy toppy zombie?
You ever eat an otter pop and you just get too like aggressive and you bite half of it off?
Yeah, true. Probably it wouldn't be able to stop itself. All right, so good list. I think so. At the top, we got Catgirl for you and Snursin for me, and I think we found our soulmates there.
I think we found our soulmates. We should take a screenshot. You should save that and we can post it to our Twitter. L2BC podcast on Twitter /X. We're not calling it X, Elon. Grow up. All right, now that we've talked about monsters we'd like to fuck, let's go ahead and move on to another segment. I wrote this one up out of pure curiosity. History of cemeteries.
Ooh.
I've been wanting to know for a long while. I've been doing a lot of DoorDash recently, DoorDashing until 6 a.m., and I've been driving by cemeteries. A little spooky, a little scary, but I thought, how are these sustainable? In a capitalist society, how the hell are you making money off this shit? You ran out of rent. They're not paying monthly. How does this work? So it led me to some research. And I found some interesting stuff. First off, let's distinguish graveyards versus cemeteries. Graveyards, did y'all know? Graveyard is specifically a term related to a church. A graveyard is a cemetery that is within a church grounds. And that's how graveyards began. It was not originally a public forum for dying. It was a religious experience. When you wanted to get buried, you'd go to the church and you would get buried in the ground at the graveyard. Eventually, population starts advancing. We get more people. The more people we get, the less people we can bury at the church. So the government actually started to step in and created what we now call a cemetery. A cemetery being a place to be buried, not at church. Which thus transformed the concept of burial from a spiritual experience to a civic right, something that someone and anyone could do without having to be affiliated with a church. Now that led me to the question, how the hell does this thing make money? Obviously, you can sell the grave plot, you can sell the funeral service, you can sell groundskeeping, whatever those types of things be, but that's not going to be enough to sustain you for 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, 400 years. So I did the research. How the hell do graveyards stay in business? This is one of those experiences where you ask a question and the answer is not as interesting as you would like. Most of the money that goes into a cemetery gets invested into a perpetual care fund, very much like a Roth IRA or an investment fund for a human, but unlike a human, it doesn't die. So we can actually keep this fund rolling over the course of time and take money out as needed. What's interesting about cemeteries, and this is something I did not think about or consider, is that investment initially is set to carry over a couple generations, not necessarily forever. It is not a forever investment, as the people that would care about the people being buried in that place will also pass. They will also go away. Thus, after multiple generations, it's just done, and we don't care anymore. At that point, the plot doesn't make money at all, and we think, how do you keep this shit rolling? There are so many cemeteries in Boston that are just public grounds that sit there, and I'm like, no one's maintaining these. No one's doing anything for these. These gravestones are falling apart. The grounds are uncut. They just kind of exist. They kind of just are there. There is a law that was passed that makes it so once a cemetery is dedicated to being a cemetery land, it cannot be uncemeteried in a sense. You can't just go ahead and say, well, this business is done. Pack up and move, boys. It is somewhat a government and regional responsibility to just leave those things alone, which was kind of wild to me. I feel like in a capitalist society, we're always trying to maximize every dollar, every corner. We live in a world where paying for parking is more than minimum wage. That shit's crazy to me that we just say, once a cemetery, always a cemetery. And yeah, that's kind of the history of cemeteries. Additionally, last fun fact, the reason we actually tried to keep people buried and have a final permanent location is due to rich people. I mean, it goes back not only to Egyptian status of mummification and making pyramids and all that type of stuff, but further into the future, the French rich people. French people were like, I would like to be alive forever in death. And so they made boxes and they put themselves in boxes, and it was less about turning into bones over time and more about trying not to be bones over time. And that was a crazy experience to me. Trying to stay alive as long as possible via death is a fascinating subject. And shout out to the rich for making that a thing. Anyways, that's a quick summary of the history of graveyards and cemeteries. Hopefully I talked about it well enough. If not, don't worry, I'll be dead soon. Ha ha ha! In a graveyard. Probably not a graveyard. Graveyards are church only. A cemetery.
Great deep dive, man.
And cheers.
Shout out to rich people. Rich people, hey, you don't get shout outs enough. Thank you so much.
Rich people, they play by different rules. They got cheat codes. They got the Game Shark plugged into life. They got different ways of being, and it blows my mind.
Yeah, man. But yeah, good research. It's one thing that you brought up that I just think it's so true, but also so messed up is like how little we care about like our previous generations, where it's like basically 2 generations deep and you don't care at all.
It's over. Who cares?
Like your great great grandpa might as well be a complete stranger. You know what I mean? And yet they're the only reason that you're there.
And you know what's wild too is speaking of Boston cemeteries, there are certain cemeteries that years and years and years, hundreds of years later, actually do get service. But the only way they are allowed to provide service is by providing services. Thus, they do ghost tours. They do cemetery tours. My favorite cemetery is in Hollywood, known as the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. It's a cemetery where a significant amount of content creators, actors, musicians, all that type of shit, are buried, but they hold movie nights. So you watch movies in a cemetery where the people in the movies are buried there.
Wow, that's nuts.
And it keeps the cemetery rolling. How crazy is that? I think it's a pretty cool experience. And also, shout out to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. It is a drive-through cemetery. You can fully drive through it and not get out of your car.
That is insane. So it's
another
like
thing that I think is wild about it, it's not only a tourist attraction, but being Hollywood, a place where people want the most attention, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be forever. You will notice as you drive down the lanes of Hollywood Forever Cemetery, there are tombstones, and over the course of time, they get closer and closer and closer to the road. And once you get close enough to the road, it gets extremely packed. People are trying to get as close to the road as possible so they can be seen as much as possible. And it's the most Hollywood craziest experience because they're literally like blocking each other to get the best real estate. I fully recommend going to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery at some point. It's a crazy spot.
It is so Hollywood and also just so sad that even in death you have to be that petty. Like
it's super. It's the pettiest grave of it is the most luxurious, abundantly over the top cinematic funeral place you could go to by far. It is incredible.
Yeah. I just want like a big pit. I wish they should make mass graves like an option where like I want to be buried with all my homies. Like
a pit with my boys.
Can we get buried together? Would you be down?
Like
or what?
the lovers, the classic like lovers burial where it's like 2 skeletons holding hands.
Yeah. What are you gonna put on your epitaph? If you could put something on my epitaph, I'll put something on your epitaph.
Ooh. Well, I would like to treat my epitaph like I did my senior quote in high school. Did you do a senior quote?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. It was dumb.
Mine was digesting celery takes more calories than it provides.
That's a good one.
And my thought process behind that was I wanted y'all to learn some shit because I'm not important at the end of the day. I'm just another human blob. And I could write some poetry someone else wrote, or I could teach you something. At one point, I wanted my epitaph to be a large compilation, like scrolling ticker, almost like the bottom of the news where it says the news information. I wanted to have a scrolling ticker at the bottom of my my graveyard stone. I wanted to have every tweet I ever wrote. But then I stopped tweeting.
That's brilliant, man. I would love to go to your grave and pay my respects and just see you say, like, just had a fat piss later.
That's what I'm saying. I really feel like at the end of the day, I could just transfer my Twitter graveyard epitaph into a Last 2 Brain Cells epitaph. We can just play Last 2 Brain Cells episodes at like 1 volume forever.
That's brilliant.
I like that. It's like like you have to put your ear to a shell to hear the ocean. I want you to like put your ear to like the grave and you hear me and the boy talking. Okay, let's do Let's do the lovers burial.
Yeah.
It's you and it's me. Yeah. And there is a speaker coming out of the ground and it's you and me talking. It's the Last 2 Brain Cells on perpetually forever.
That's a great idea.
You can literally listen in to what we used to say.
Have they made like caskets with glory holes yet? Because I think if we could make it so you could basically, if you pay your respects, you could reach your hand into the ground and then
little reach around
directly onto where our peepees used to be, but now it's just like skin. Now it's just bones.
Ooh, that's cool.
But because you know how it's like all the statues in public, like the naked ones, they always have like more wear patterns on like the butts,
on the cocks.
Actually, yeah, just make it so you can just touch your butts.
Yeah, no, that's cool. We could lay face down, ass up.
Yep.
That's the way I like to be buried.
Yep.
Amen, brother. You and me and the boys all buried upside down, and you could put in a quarter, and it will open a hole, and you could slap all our asses.
Yeah, no, you have to pay a quarter to slap our asses, and that's how you
Yeah.
fund the cemetery.
And that quarter goes towards the cemetery and charity.
I gotta be honest, I'm feeling like doomsday is up in my head. Like my head is swimming. I'm starving, and I'm sorry. I'm just I need to go get some food, man.
Dude, you're good, man. It's been a long ass episode. We've talked about a lot of good ass shit, and the good news is we can always revisit graveyards in the future. That's what they're there for. They're places to visit, and I would love to revisit with you in the future after you have a good snack.
Thank you, man. Yeah, let's put a big fat pin in this though, because really, death, my favorite subject.
Yeah, I know you can talk death, but I also know you're deathly hungry right now. So let's wrap this shit up.
I'm dying. Thank you, man. Yeah.
Hell
all right,
yeah.
Let's get a little outro going. What do we got for the outro?
All right, well, real quick, I want to say, Last Two Brain Cells listeners, thank you so much for listening to episode, fucking 16 of Last Two Brain Cells? That's nuts. If you have not rated the Last Two Brain Cells podcast 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to it on, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, whatever the hell, Good Pods, who cares? Make sure you go ahead and rate 5 stars, leave a comment, leave a review. We'll reply to your review in the future. That would be sick. Also, we're now doing video episodes, so make sure you subscribe to our YouTube if you're listening on audio only. Last Two Brain Cells YouTube. Subscribe to that bad boy. L2BC Podcast on Twitter. All that good stuff. Enough plugging. Let's wrap this shit up. So, I figured for today's outro, we might as well play our intro for the finale. So,
yeah.
If you missed it the first time, open your ears, because it's coming in spicy.
Please enjoy our new intro, which you'll be hearing right now.
Hell yeah!
Donovan.
Thank you for supporting Last Two Brain Cells on all platforms, and thank you for being our friends and pals. Have a great freaking day, and hell yeah!
We're gonna talk about some true crime. Last two brain cells, last two brain cells, last two brain cells, last two brain cells.